guys! Welcome back to CJ's Keto Kitchen. Well, are you feeling lucky? I hope so. Because tonight I'm going to be making a St. Patrick's Day inspired casserole. So come along with me and let's get started. So tonight I am going to be making a cabbage and corned beef casserole, but it's going to be keto. This was actually a recipe from an extremely old Better Homes and Gardens cookbook that included cream and mushroom soup, and I have changed the recipe to make it keto. So corned beef and cabbage is traditional for St. Patrick's Day, although as many things in the United States, it is more of an Irish-American classic. It's very easy and it only takes a few steps. So let's go ahead and get started. For our casserole tonight, I want 375 degrees as our preset temperature on our oven. You're also going to need a 9 by 13 inch greased casserole dish. So that's what I have here, and I have sprayed mine with avocado oil spray. So because this is a cabbage and corned beef casserole, this is a good way to utilize leftovers if you have them from any kind of St. Patrick's Day dining that you may have done. Also, these ingredients are typically more readily available this time of year. So I have in my bowl 6 cups of shredded cabbage, and I have lightly sauteed mine. You don't have to saute it if you don't want to, but I do suggest that you steam it or somehow pre-cook it a little bit, simply because our casserole is only going to be in the oven for about 30 minutes. So if you don't pre-cook your cabbage a bit, it might tend to be a bit bony, and you might not want that. So I have pre-sauteed mine just a bit, and this is just about 1 head of cabbage. You can also use pre-shredded cabbage, which was actually what I was trying to find when I went to the supermarket, but they were all out. So I just went ahead and used a regular head of cabbage. So once again, that's about 6 cups. Now the second thing you're going to need is, of course, corned beef. I prepared mine in my slow cooker yesterday. It took about 12 hours. Corned beef is usually preserved in a brine, and that is how you cook it. You cover it with water and everything that comes in the package, and then once it has been cooked, you can then shred it up, and that is what I have done. So this is about 3 cups of pre-prepared corned beef. You can also use canned corned beef, and if you cannot find fresh, of course fresh is readily available right now for St. Patrick's Day. But if you live somewhere where that is not the case, you can generally find canned corned beef on the shelf. So like I said, you need about 3 cups, and I've kind of shredded / cubed mine into chunks. I'm going to go ahead and put the corned beef into the cabbage so that I can utilize this bowl to make our sauce, so I'm not cleaning more bowls than I need to. So I'm just going to kind of combine the 2 of those just lightly, because after we form our sauce, we're going to be stirring it up again. So I'm just going to set that aside. Okay, so we just have our bowl. And the first thing that I'm going to do to begin our sauce is I need a 1/2 cup of sour cream. So 1/2 cup of sour cream. Now, as I stated in the intro, this dish was originally made with condensed soup, which is, of course, readily available and inexpensive, but it is not very ketogenic because of the starches and binders that are typically found in canned soup. So I'm trying to replicate those flavors and the creaminess without using the canned product. So the next thing that we are going to be putting in here is going to be the same amount of heavy cream. So that's 1/2 cup of heavy cream. We do get questions sometimes thinking that our heavy cream has gone bad, because it is indeed very heavy. But we like to buy the 40% whipping cream at Costco because it is a very good value, and it is very heavy, very thick. So to further make this into our sauce and make it liquidy enough to be viscous and cover our corned beef and cabbage, I need a bit of thinner. So I'm going to be using beef broth. So I have 1 cup of beef broth. Just gonna whisk that around a little bit and just incorporate our sour cream. So to give us rich, bold flavors, to bring out the flavor in our corned beef and our cabbage, I'm going to add 2 seasonings. Now, generally, I like my food extremely well seasoned, but because our corned beef is brined, that means that a lot of seasonings were added into the pickling liquid of the actual corned beef. They have allspice and mustard seed and clove and all kinds of other things, garlic. So it's a very well seasoned meat. So I don't feel like I need to put a great deal of seasoning in the sauce. I'm going to add about 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. The next ingredient that I'm going to add is dry mustard or mustard powder. And I like using a powdered product here. You can use a prepared mustard, a yellow mustard or a Dijon, but there's something about the mustard powder that has a bit more flavor in a sauce. So I'm going to put about a teaspoon of this. Of course, if you don't have access to dry mustard or mustard powder, you can use regular mustard. And I want 1 teaspoon. Okay, that is it for our sauce. I'm going to pour this into our cabbage and corned beef mixture, and I'm going to incorporate it, and then we will add our other ingredient. You could do this in your casserole dish if you wanted to, but sometimes I prefer to do it in a bowl just to make sure that I get a really good blend of my ingredients. Okay, so our sauce is well blended into our cabbage and our corned beef. The next thing that I'm going to put in is grated Swiss cheese. Swiss is very traditional in St. Patrick's Day food, and the sharpness of it lends itself very well to the flavors of cabbage and corned beef. So where I live, I cannot find pre-shredded Swiss cheese, which is totally fine. I just buy it by the brick and I grated it myself. So this is 2 cups. I'm going to put in 1 of those 2 cups and blend it into our casserole. I'm going to reserve the 2nd cup for topping our casserole. Okay, so there's our mixture, and I'm going to put it into our greased 9 by 13 inch baking dish. Now I'm going to top it with the remainder of our Swiss cheese. You know, casseroles sure are not attractive, but they sure taste delicious. That's why I love them so much. Okay, here we go. Into the oven, 30 minutes at 375. There it is, nice and cheesy and bubbly. So with all casseroles, it is my suggestion that you let it sit for about 15 minutes, just so everything can solidify and cool down a little bit. Makes it easier to cut. And then once we cut it, I will serve it to Lucky CJ, and he can tell us what he thinks. Okay, here it is, our delicious cabbage and corned beef casserole, all ready for St. Patrick's Day.
This is our second taste test. The reason we're doing a second taste test is because this tastes remarkably better as it sits. And so I want people to know that. Because when this first came out of the oven, it was good. But it feels like over time, I really noticed it yesterday, that as it had time to sit, now I can get the flavor of the corned beef. Now I can really get the flavor of the cabbage. It all kind of melds together. So I like it. It's one of those dishes where we only have it once a year. So I don't like say, hey Sarah, go get some corned beef. So, but it is flavorful, it is good. And besides, well, we had fresh corned beef, right?
Yes.
So that's the only reason that took so long. So
yeah.
And we didn't make you watch 12 hours of corned beef cooking.
In the slow cooker.
Right.
That'd be some boring TV.
I know. So it's good, baby, and thanks for making it.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for joining us again tonight, you guys. We hope that you enjoy the casserole as much as we are going to. We hope that you will consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so that you know when our new content goes up. On Wednesdays, we have Keto Conversations, and that's when we get together and talk about different keto lifestyle topics. Sometimes we have food unboxings, sometimes grocery hauls, what we eat, and also just general overall keto conversations. So definitely join us then. And then on Sundays is when our new recipes go up. Sometimes they're sweet and sometimes they're savory. And all the information for our recipes is always on our blog, and that is cjsketokitchen.com. And there you can also subscribe so that you know when our new recipes come out. We hope that you'll consider doing that as well. We are on social media. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest, and a little bit of TikTok, and that's CJ's Keto Kitchen. We also have a brand new cookbook, if you haven't heard, and it is all about 25 very easy, simple keto sweets, and I know you will absolutely love it. So definitely check that out as well. All the information you need will be in the description box below. We hope that you'll come back and see us again, and until that time, be well.